Yeah, it's the Weege Show, brought to you by the all-new Honda CRF 250R. Not really all new anymore, the bike's been out. We're now into the second half of the 2022 calendar year, and the bike's no longer undefeated, but still the points leader and still 1-2 in the series, courtesy of the Lawrence brothers. We'll tell you more about the Honda CRF 250R a little later in our show, because we are really here to talk about Southwick and the Rippas and being back in the most unique track and the most unique atmosphere of any race in this series. And I say that without stuttering, without even blinking. There is no track quite like Southwick. I've covered it in the Weege Show the last couple years, but I'm going to show you when I get to the side of the track over here how different it is than most. And that's just the start, because of course you got to talk about the American Legion Post 338, which I cover on the show every year, but why would I not do it again? Thank you. Nice people up here. This is part of the racetrack. You wouldn't think it's part of the racetrack. It's nothing like the racetrack. It's oh, I got to sign into the post. Oh, we're good. We're good. Oh. Yeah, I was like, man, I'm going to be fish out of water in here. Apparently not. Fit right in with the locals. Fit right in with the locals, guys. That's right, Weege Show. American Legion Post 338. Alive and well. Very good. Very good. Twisted Tea, brother. Twisted Tea. Yeah, we'll have some Twisted Tea tomorrow. Look at this. Oh, we got a racetrack sticker on there. We're doing all right. We're doing all right. All right. This is not... No other motocross track has anything like this. This is not motocross in here. This is just like an old-fashioned chill. And by the way, there's a national over there. Ah, whatever. Yeah. It's like a totally different atmosphere than any other track.
Hey, we're next door.
We are. We're next door.
We're next door.
Yeah. Now, are you actually... Oh, that's a different one. Jersey Shore.
Yes,
you're an American Legion member, though.
Yes,
okay.
Yes, absolutely.
But you are an American Legion.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, awesome.
Middle of Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Right on.
World Series. That's coming up.
Oh, Little League World Series.
Yeah.
Yeah. Williamsport. That's it.
Yeah,
yes.
that's where we're from.
Yes.
Yeah,
oh, okay.
Yep.
So how far is that from here?
Like 5 hours.
Worth coming to Southwick.
My first time.
No. Dude. Now, have you seen the track? Have you walked over there yet?
We were talking to Dungy out there.
Oh,
yeah.
He was on a side-by-side out there. I said, hey, Ryan. He's like, hey, guys.
You could go home and you're already happy.
Yeah.
You're already good, dude.
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah.
Like,
I was at the High Point.
Yeah.
And I'm doing Budds Creek, Maryland.
There you go.
And Unadilla.
Hey, I'm originally from Jersey. That was my tour. Those are my races.
Hey,
nice to meet you guys.
Much.
See you, buddy.
Awesome. All right.
Twisted Teas, brother.
Twisted Teas. Come on by tomorrow. I might enjoy myself in here a little bit later, but I did say I would show you the track. I just love how this atmosphere in here. Oh, they've actually updated it. It has this is high tech for this place. This actually is the VCR, but it does have the DVD combo. I mean, there are times when you come in here and there's nothing but a record player. And I mean record players before record players came back around and are all cool with the kids now. So American Legion Post at the track, that's just part of the atmosphere. We've even got Yankees Red Sox playing right now in Fenway. Yankees Red Sox. Thanks, crew. It doesn't get much more New England than that. Oh, who are you guys pulling for? We got a Tomac guy? We got a Tomac guy. You might be in luck tomorrow. So let's talk a little bit of racing as we show the track. Yes, thanks guys. I had a good time in there, and I didn't even.
Why wouldn't you?
I didn't even partake. So let's talk racing as I get run over the track. We'll do it right now. Look, done. What do you got in there? Popcorn? Popcorn. He wants to be on camera as well. Wow, that's a gnarly one, and she was ready. I might need this video of evidence of how it all ended for me. She's coming after me. So now we'll show you the track, and let's talk racing, and let's talk Eli Tomac here on the Weege Show. He is phenomenal in sand. He is phenomenal on this track. Now, actually, he hasn't won here as much as you would think. There's been some amazing rides by Marvin Muscan, actually, at this track. He's won a bunch of times. Yeah, this is awesome, right, boys?
You got it.
We are surveying the facility. That's right.
That's right.
That's right. This is awesome. Look, this is a restricted area, guys. Authorized personnel only. So here's what makes Southwick so unique. I know we'll all talk about the sand. Can you believe how small this track is? Like, it's all right here. I was talking to none other than the legendary John Dowd about this track, and he's like, man, I bet you could fit like 8 of these into the facility at Redbud. Redbud is gigantic, it's ginormous, it goes on forever. A lot of the tracks in this series are like that. This one is so compact, when you see it on TV, you don't realize that this lane is right by this lane, which is right by that lane, and then right over there, the track almost collides with itself. And for the spectators, I mean, look at how much track they get to see in this section. You guys got any riders in particular you're pulling for tomorrow? Tomac. You might be in for a good weekend.
Sexton.
Sexton. Oh, you guys know each other? Are you bros? Are you cool?
Friends, yeah.
You are right now. We'll see what happens on Saturday. So that's really the critical juncture. Tomac is great at this track. R.I.P. Marvin Muscan. We don't forget how fast you used to go at this track, and it was that section over there, I think, where Muscan went absolutely flying into those tents. But Muscan's not racing the series anymore. We know Tomac's a bad dude on sand, and he's won at this track before. Again, not as much as you would think, but his sand skills are unrivaled. Now, Sexton has been saying that he's not that good in sand. It's not his specialty. We mentioned it on our Weege post show last week. There are some sand tracks in Michigan. He's not a Michigan guy. He's from Illinois. So he's learning the sand, but he has a great guy to teach him, and that is Tyler Rattray, who won multiple overalls in the 250 class of this track. That's who Sexton rides at Rattray's facility. Be real careful coming down here. Let's just show you what the sand is like. Oh yeah. I mean, I really want to eat it. Like, my daughter had a birthday cake made last weekend, several weeks after her actual birthday, and I still wasn't there because I'm always at the darn races. My point is, this is the same consistency as that, and I ate that, and it was good. Had it for breakfast all morning. Got it all week in the morning. Man, it just seems so nice right now, and it's been carefully groomed by John Dowd, who runs the equipment here. They put Doug Henry in a skid steer. Apparently he's really good at nips and tucks and making everything look really, really sharp. Even he works the pit area as well. Awesome to have those legends. And Keith Johnson and his dad, who operate this facility, another one of the fast New England legends. I mean, this place is so cool. This place is so fun. If you're Sexton, it would be absolutely huge to fire back in a race that I feel like everybody just assumes Tomac's gonna win. He's on a roll. He's won 2 in a row. Let's be honest. If Sexton doesn't tip over in the last lap of the final moto at Thunder Valley, Tomac wins the overall at that race, and he's got 3 in a row. He's coming to a track he's really good on. So it's a real challenge for Sexton here in 2 ways. A, he's got to try to learn the sand stuff. He's got Rattray in his corner. That helps. But the other thing is, if it doesn't happen, if Tomac, who's only 7 points down, he could even win the race and leave with the points lead. For Sexton, you got to say, hey, look, this isn't the best track for me. We got plenty more racing to go. And I feel like Sexton is doing a good job of tempering that. He's been on the podium in all but 1 moto this year when he got a 4th. He's gotten 1st or 2nd in every other moto. I think he's aware of, he's much more consistent. He's much better outdoors than he's ever been in the past. So he's got to take the positives from that and not leave sulking, you know, even if the red plate changes hands. And what if Sexton did pull it off? And there are a lot of other riders to talk about in that 450 division. Let's talk about a couple of wild cards. Max Anstey. Max Anstey was very fast in his return to racing last week. Now he's on the Firepower Honda team. I'm not going to say it, but I'm going to say it, that I think Max really thought he could have done some damage at this track last year, but he had bike problems. He had bike problems at Redbud too, but I talked to his Firepower Honda team. It was clutch problems. They got it fixed. They talked to the factory Honda guys. They have it dialed. They put 2.5 hours on a clutch this week back at Millsap's training facility to make sure the clutch in that bike is ready for this. Anstey is a world-class sand rider, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him make some noise. You got Ryan Dungey. The fans certainly are pumped on that. He's good in sand. Still waiting for Dungey to get that podium. It could happen any week. Could be the one. Ken Roxon's still in the series. It was a rough one at Redbud, and that's kind of what you see from Roxon, right? Great races and then bad races. And then just when you write him off, he has another great race. So that could certainly be in play. Oh my gosh. It's like walking on pillows here. Man, this is nice. I like to have this as my backyard. And Kristen Craig, who's been a little bit underrated, I think, how well it's going. He only had a podium at round 1. He's been just outside of it the other races. And Jason Anderson's been faster than the results show, because kind of like Supercross, he's been involved in too many crashes and bad starts and incidents and things like that. There are plenty of contenders to talk about in the 450 class, but man, as a side note, really would have been nice if we had Tony Caroli racing this race. You got to imagine he would have loved this track, which is unique. The thing about Southwick, it's not Lommel or any of those Vulcan Sword tracks over in Europe. It's not bottomless. This sand feels really good when you're walking on it. Take it from me. But it does have a hard base. It makes it a little bit harder on the crew. As far as the teams and the riders, they're all going to run that scoop paddle style tire, scoop tire. And there's going to be parts where that tire is great. Gonna be a few where it's not, actually. And I'm messing up John Dowd's track. He's watching me. I'm gonna go over there and talk to him. And same thing with suspension setup. It's like sandy, but there are definitely the shatter type braking bumps that also a hard pack track would get. So they gotta kind of find the happy medium there. Let's check in with these guys. This ain't rough at all. What's the problem, John? Yeah, I know. We didn't just hang out for an hour or anything.
It'll get there.
Okay. I mean, right now, you just made it like a work of art.
Well, Keith's got this fancy new little grooming harrowing.
Oh, okay.
So it does it. It really makes it look pretty nifty.
But the bumps will be there?
Yeah.
The bumps will be there.
Yeah, I even pre-made some.
I see that.
I didn't tell you some. I didn't tell you all my secrets.
Okay, yeah, you put bumps in. Those bumps end up there anyway.
Getting back to the whole old school.
Okay, I love it.
I had to throw in a few extra goodies here and there.
Okay, is this is the double that Canning did like a year ago or something?
From the fly to the...
Yes. So I was talking to Carmichael about that, and he's like, I've always thought that someone could do it, but he's like, but this darn sweeper just gets too darn rough.
Yeah, if you don't do it in practice, I don't think it's happening after that.
So it'll be nasty. It'll be nasty, that corner.
That gets ugly in there.
Okay, that's what we want to hear. Yeah. Don't complain about Southwick and be like, these guys don't know what Southwick's all about. John Dowd's the one operating the darn dozers. I think he knows what Southwick's all about. The dozer even has your darn logo on it.
Yep.
There we go.
I'm trying to get it on TV. Someday I'll get it on TV.
I think we did it one time. And the dog, where's your doghouse? The actual dog, doghouse. The doghouse, yeah, it actually says JYD.
It's a fire hose holder.
Oh gosh, it's fitting. The JYD doghouse. All right, good luck tomorrow. How are the water crew doing? Are they watering it?
They're doing good.
They're on it.
They're doing good, they're on it.
A rare Southwick weekend with no rain. We haven't had rain, so they actually have to water the track, which they don't often have to do here. So John Dowd knows, he's the one on the dozer, and Keith Johnson knows, and Mike Treadwell knows, and Doug Henry knows. Those guys are gonna make sure they give you the Southwick that you expect to see. Let's talk about 250 class here real quick. You know the Lawrence brothers situation where Jet lost the points lead when the bike expired last time, and Hunters thought his was gonna go too. There it is. JYD Excavation, give the guy a call. John Dowd, that's his company. But at the same time, last week, Hunter Lawrence, he wasn't exactly pumped. He lived for the points lead. He told himself, you know, you have to appreciate these are the days you live for when you have a points lead and things like that. But he got blown away by Jet in the second moto at Redbud. And remember, the race before that, he gave Jet all he could handle right down to the finish at High Point. So I don't think he was pumped on that. It was almost like leaving the track. Jet had a bigger advantage speed-wise and maybe even confidence-wise than he did leaving High Point, even though Redbud was a terrible race as far as the point score is concerned. Now, Hunter did win 2 motos here last year, but Cooper and Jet, who were the top 2 guys in the series last year, they had all sorts of problems with starts and stuff throughout the day. I don't think you could just say Hunter went 1-1 last year, he's gonna dominate this year. Certainly the win is in play for him. Here's the bumps that Dowd made. And this section you'll see just gets so rough by the end of the day tomorrow. But it's really up for grabs between the Lawrence brothers right now. The points have swung Hunter's way. The last moto definitely swung Jet's way. It'll be interesting who else can be in there. Certainly Joe Shimoda's got momentum after the win last week. And do not count out Michael Moseman, who continues to be super fast. He's had a lot of bike problems, oddly, and some crashes, which is not odd. You've seen that, unfortunately, from Michael way too much. As he said, bike problems and mic problems. But Moseman led some laps here last year until he fell again. So if he can fix that, and that's a big if, I would not be surprised at all to see Moseman on the podium, winning a moto, winning an overall. We shouldn't be like, where did this come from? He's been fast all year. So that's our 250 class. And one more note I want to throw in. Last week's Weege Show, I was highly stressing the idea of putting a 450 rider on a 250 for Motocross the Nations. I'm highly endorsing a Chase Sexton, Eli Tomac, Jason Anderson team. We had a little movement on that front. For some reason, I don't know why people are not stoked on Anderson, the idea of a 250. I think they just assume, well, the Lawrence brothers Hondas are fast and the Star Racing Yamahas are always fast. You got to have one of those 250s on your team. Shimoda just won the darn race last weekend. I don't think the Kawasaki, the Monster Pro Circuit machine, is garbage. Seth Hammaker's been pulling starts in every moto. Anderson will be fine. And then Anderson responded to my tweet and said, that would be dope. I would love to do it. Anderson would like to ride a 250 for Team USA. Do I think it's going to happen? No. Do I think that's the decision they're going to go with? No. But they've been the 3 best guys all year. Anderson just won an overall at Hangtown. This is a moto at High Point. He fell and then he was closing back in on Tomac. What? He merely came from like 38th to 7th in a moto last week and then tipped over another, and I think he got 4th or 5th. Like, he has not been garbage. He's been great. Let's not have recency bias and just say, I saw Anderson down to the first turn at Redbud, so he's done. He's terrible. I endorse that one. Plus, he's ridden for Team USA several times. He understands the pressure and what that event brings. Like I said, I don't think he's going to get on the team. That's not what I'm hearing, but that's what I'm endorsing. No offense to any other riders. I'm just saying, those have been the best 3 guys, Americans, all year, I feel. And he's willing to do it. So let's do something different and not just pick a 250 guy. Anderson's good. He'll be fine on a 250. That's my final thought as we get to the other side of the track. I was able to pretty much show you every piece of this track on this walk and talk because that's how smaller this track is. There's Dowd checking things out. And this show is long enough, but just seeing Dowd over there reminds me of something that's so intriguing. We just did an hour-long pre-race show on the Monster Energy stage. You can check it out in the American Motocross YouTube channel. I'll give you the audio on my Racer X Exhaust podcast next week, where we had Dowd and Doug Henry. And there might be no stat more mind-blowing in this sport than the humble roots of those guys. Doug Henry told me that in 1986 and 87, he was just on the fence watching this national. 86 and 87, watching the national. He got a dirt bike just to ride in the sand pits, not even to race motocross. Then finally, they decided to go for it, and he raced the 80 novice class here at Southwick. This is like 1987, right? 6 years later, he's the 125 national champion as a pro. That's insane. And Dowd got a dirt bike the first time in his life in 1985, and by 87, he was pro out here. This is a long hill. And by 91, he had won a national, and then eventually goes on to factory rides. You will never be able to repeat what Dowd and Henry did. Not even owning dirt bikes, not even thinking about racing dirt bikes, knowing nothing about it, showing up as the slowest local guy, and a few years later winning races at the highest level. It's insane. I would like to say there's some sort of lesson to be learned there. I don't know what it is. That's too extreme. I cannot draw any parallels from that. See how much breath I have at the top of this hill. That's been the Weege Show, brought to you by the all-new CRF 250R. Not undefeated any longer, but still leading the points. Congrats, Joe Shimoda, you got one. He should race Motocross the Nation for Cali as well. Do it for Team Japan. Woo! Southwick! Let's get it going. There we go. We'll see you tomorrow, everybody.